Budget basher. The legislature has extra money, but so far they're not giving it to education. How it's going to affect your child's schooling.
Trigger-trading. What happens when deputies are done with their guns?
And missionary woes. Women can now serve at an earlier age, but that means trying to break the dreaded apartment contract, how they're selling on short notice. I'm Kristen Firmage.
And I'm Karen Sullivan. It's Wednesday, January 30th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
The U.S. Attorney's Office wants a judge to issue a gag order to the man who implicates new State Attorney General John Swallow in a bribery scandal. The motion centers on a conversation back in April at this Orem Krispy Kreme. St. George businessman Jeremy Johnson secretly recorded the discussion, which he says was about bribes. That would get Nevada Senator Harry Reid to end a federal investigation into Johnson's iWorks company. Johnson gave the recording to the media this week. Swallow denies all allegations. The motion from the U.S. Attorney General's office would stop Johnson from talking to the media while prosecutors prepare and try the case. The judge will hear arguments on the motion on Friday. While the state budget is larger this year than last, for now, education funding won't increase. 11 News reporter Sarah Clark was at the legislature. Sarah, why will education budget stay the same?
Well, now that Utah is doing better financially, many parents expect schools to improve. But legislators say simply throwing more money at education isn't always the answer.
A recent state poll shows that the majority of Utahns consider education to be a top priority when it comes to using the state budget.
I think they should use most for education. Education is the most important thing for the country to succeed.
Experts say Utah's economy is booming, and that will have a positive impact in the state's financial situation.
We have more budget than what we had in the last 4 years.
Even though we have more money now, the legislature has no plans to increase education funding. Democrats say this is a problem.
There's not enough money to pay for our children's education, which makes it really hard to make decisions.
But they still say they hope to use the little money they have for the best.
Education is the priority. With the limited resources we have to be smarter in how we use our education fund to fix problems.
Some parents say they already think education is getting worse and aren't too happy about education funding.
I think it's really bad, the budget situation, because it's being reflected in the schools. My children's schools used to have a lot of important material for them to learn, and now they have less and less.
Less money means the state has fewer teachers and materials, yet experts say Utah's students still have higher than average test scores compared to other states.
Sarah, how do we explain the high test scores despite low funding?
Well, some educators say Utah is much different than other states because of low poverty levels and the fact that many parents are college educated. That can improve our children's performance.
Thanks, Sarah.
Salt Lake City International Airport arrested 2 more people found with guns at security checkpoints. Salt Lake Airport security has already arrested 7 people this month on gun-related charges, on pace to smash last year's total of 20. Those arrested face potential state and federal charges. TSA officials confiscated 30 around the nation last week. The Utah County Sheriff's Department has long been able to trade their old firearms in for new ones with local dealers. But where did these firearms end up? As 11 News reporter Lucy Tingey tells us, they can end up in homes like yours.
In a meeting yesterday, the Utah County Commissioners agreed to let the Sheriff's Department trade certain fully automatic weapons with local dealers.
Handguns that are not restricted, things like that, do go back to the public through a firearms dealer.
Those dealers won't sell these weapons to just anyone, but they do sell semi-automatic weapons they get from the Sheriff's Department to the public. Quantum Guns is a store in Spanish Fork. One day trade their guns with the Sheriff's Department. The co-owner says trading locally has its benefits.
We want to help them to where they can make it easier to do their job.
The Utah County Sheriff's Department trades guns like these with local stores. Utah law enforcement officials aren't afraid of the public getting these guns. They trust the state's system of background checks and permitting to keep things under control. They also suggest that home is the right place to learn about handling weapons.
Parents need to be more in tune with teaching their children about firearm safety.
If you've ever bought a gun from a local dealer, it might be the same one your local sheriff used to use. In Spanish Fork, Lucy Tingy, 11 News.
Not all Utah County gun dealers trade with law enforcement. The sheriff's office tends to work with dealers they successfully traded with before. The Salt Lake City Fire Department is testing a new technology which allows firefighters to see through smoke, darkness, and barriers. The thermal imaging cameras may help them locate victims trapped in flames. This technology can penetrate rooms with zero visibility and help workers avoid potential obstacles. These cameras are an upgrade of devices they currently use.
The large number of female BYU students leaving school to go on missions for the LDS Church may be good news for the missionary effort, but it means trouble for those that need to sell their housing contracts. Empty apartments and for sale flyers all over campus show how the move from school to the Missionary Training Center impacts the Provo housing economy. Some apartment complexes like King Henry are letting future missionaries cancel contracts before they enter the MTC, but not all complexes are that understanding.
It frustrated me a lot because I just thought to myself, I'm actually turning 21, like I'd always been planning on leaving, so I just felt like I deserved to sell mine before, 19-year-old girls.
Some BYU women say they are having to postpone their mission until their housing contract is up.
When 11 News at noon returns, cleaning campus. All this white stuff is making sidewalks slick. How BYU grounds crew is keeping up.
And slopes are bust. You may be sick of all the snow, but resorts are saying, bring it on. How they're profiting from Mother Nature. Stay with
Some breaking news just into our newsroom. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints just announced that a church-owned high school near Mexico City will be converted into a new missionary training center at the end of the school year. The training center will accommodate missionaries serving in Mexico as well as North, Central, and South America. Keeping up an exercise routine when temperatures drop can be challenging, especially if jogging or outdoor activities are part of your plan. 11 News reporter Katie Junker is bundled up outside in Provo and says you can still stay fit even when snow is falling. Katie, I hope you're keeping warm out there with all that snow.
You know what? I'm really trying to. It is getting pretty cold out here, which makes sense that most people don't like to exercise very much outside in the winter. Luckily for them, there are plenty of indoor places to exercise to keep you warm and exercising. It's hard to leave a cozy home and brave the snowy weather to exercise, but there are more winter workout options than you may think. You just have to be a little creative.
I think it's just moving, getting movement going. When you're moving, you're burning calories.
From the new craze of indoor-boarding to something as simple as cleaning your home or walking your dog, Johnson says that moving during the stationary winter months is the most important thing you can do to keep your body healthy and happy. While moving is important, remember safety first. During bad weather conditions or an inversion, health experts urge people to use caution and avoid extreme outdoor activities.
I'd prefer outside, but there are days where it's not appropriate for people with asthma when there's the inversion.
If you do decide to brave the outdoors, try and get your workout done in the morning. There is less pollution in the air because there are fewer cars on the road. Johnson says winter is a great time to give something new a try, whether it's joining a fitness class, lifting weights at home, or snowshoeing. He says that everyone can maintain their exercise and turn up the heat in the cold months ahead. Other things BYU students can do during the winter months are try out the BYU indoor track or join a BYU club like the Ping Pong Club, which can get your heart rate up. In Provo, Katie Junker, 11 News.
So Katie, I'm curious, have you ever tried the indoor boarding?
You know what? I have, and it is a crazy core workout. It gets your core going, but I think my core hurts just as much from laughing as it did from the actual workout itself. It's a great activity to try.
Well, thanks, Katie, and please stay warm outside.
The BYU campus gardening crew turns into the snow shoveling brigade as soon as the flurries fly. 11 News reporter Maddie Wright shows us how they're keeping up with the whiteout.
When students are slip sliding away, University officials urge professors to ease up on late arrivals. Some professors even canceled class because of the icy conditions, and that's where the BYU grounds crew slides in. The snow shoveling, ice melting heroes work full force when campus becomes an ice rink, but they don't complain.
The snow actually gives us hours because normally we're trying to find things to do.
The grounds crew covers the university's 560 acres, which means they're responsible for clearing pathways leading into more than 300 buildings.
BYU employs nearly 400 students in order to keep these pathways clean and safe during the winter months.
The roughest part is the unpredictability of the weather. Employers call on students in the wee hours of the night to bundle up and grab a shovel.
Last night, or the night before, I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning, so that was kind of rough.
Some workers get to stay in the comfort of their snowplows, pushing the more open areas clean. Others wield a shovel while battling Jack Frost. Some even say they enjoy working outside in the winter wonderland.
Love the snow. It's great.
On the BYU campus, Maddie Wright, 11 News.
Grounds crew supervisors say the students have to be flexible with their hours when the snow falls because those sidewalks have to stay clear. Sundance Ski Resort is welcoming the heavy snow with open arms. That's because when the snow falls in the valley, people head to the hills and turn their thoughts to skiing and snowboarding.
We call ourselves snow farmers. When it snows, we do well. When it doesn't snow, we don't do well.
Skiers and snowboarders are feeling the fresh powder too.
So it was really nice to have all the powder and everything because I came like Friday and it was a bunch of ice and it was just terrible skiing. You could see like chunks of dirt and stuff. So it's been really nice today.
Since the ski industry's biggest weekend is coming up on President's Day, Sundance says that good things can come from stormy weather.
Even with all this snow, experts say Utah snowpack is still below where they want it to be. Recent storms have hit the valleys harder than the mountains, so the meltwater won't absorb into the mountain aquifers. One federal expert will need more than average snowfall in the coming months to get us where we should be.
I feel like this time of year, all we're talking about is the snow.
Constantly.
But as a heavy skier, I love it. I love the mountains.
You know, if it would stay in the mountains, I'd be okay with that. So, Brenda, tell us what's coming this week.
Well, right now it's coming. If you can see, it's really powdery snow, that's for sure. I actually managed to make a snowball out of it, though. What do you think? Kind of like an ostrich egg, maybe? I'll let you know if you can expect more of this. Well, it is a lot warmer inside. Do I still have snow in my hair? If we take a look back outside, this is the morning commute for BYU students this morning. You can see some of them have umbrellas, a lot of them wearing hats, and everyone has boots on because there's about a foot of snow on the ground right now in Provo. If you walk outside right now, it's 27 degrees, humidity 100%. That means it's snowing, and wind speed just a little breezy, not too much in your face, but that snow is coming down on top of you, and it's just a little bit wet. So be careful on those commutes. By the rest of the night tonight, we will see some more snow, probably 2 more rounds of it actually before the day is out. We're just going to drop down just to 23 degrees tonight, a little more wind, and then maybe you'll wake up to 1 more inch of snow on top of the foot that's already on the ground. So I hope you like snow because it's sticking around for a while. We do need to let you know about an early release. Weber School District has canceled school for the rest of the day. They're going to send students home right after lunch, so be aware of that. They've also canceled their parent-teacher conferences for the afternoon. And hey, if you're going out in the airport today, if you're going to head up to Salt Lake, be aware that there are delays still. They're still plowing those runways, and so some flights are delayed, so you might have to change your travel plans if you're heading out of Salt Lake Airport today. Because it is snowing all across the Wasatch Front. All of this blue right here is snowfall all the way from Logan all the way almost down to Nephi. So almost everyone is seeing a little bit of it today except for southern Utah, so be ready, it's just still coming. Highs around the state are pretty average for this time of year, 20s and 30s. I think the warmest we got, Wendover and Moab hit 35 today. 51 is the high in St. George, 30 in Cedar City. Those are pretty average for this time of year as well. But I will tell you that by the end of the week in St. George, you're going to be wishing you were there. I know I will. Later on in the week, they will hit 60 degrees. How glorious will that feel, I bet. The lows are still in the 30s, and we are going to be through the 60s at the end of the weekend. Starting right now, of course, we're in 51. In the northern Wasatch Front, we're still seeing a lot of that snow, and the temperatures are going to remain pretty normal throughout the week. This is usually what we are. mid-30s all the way through, lows in the teens and the 20s. The clouds are going to keep coming through, but hopefully the snow should stop on Thursday and we'll see a little more clearer skies and it might warm up a little, might get a little drier. Hopefully we can maybe even it a little bit, let the snow plows get the snow off the road by the end of the weekend for that sunshine to come out. I don't know, and give us a change in the weather maybe by the end of the week.
Oh, I hope so. At least for sports fans, though, they can be indoors now, right?
You know, but we could talk about outdoor sports. AJ, I saw the 2013 football schedule, and it looks pretty stacked.
Is that going to be good for us or bad?
Well, when it comes to the gridiron, if you want to be the best, you got to play the best. So we definitely have a lot to look forward to next year for BYU football. But coming up next on sports, we have the Cougar Calendar. The BYU football team released its 2013 schedule, which features some powerhouses from across the nation, and 3-in-a-row Lake Show. After a huge win over the Thunder on Sunday, Kobe and company went for 3 straight last night against the New Orleans Hornets. Sports is next. Sure, football just ended, and fans are focused on other sports around campus. But as 11 News reporter Corey Aldis tells us, the release of the 2013 football schedule is stealing the headlines.
Not only does BYU have big games to play at LaVell Edwards Stadium, but they also pack up this trailer right here and hit the road to face teams in big conferences across the nation, giving fans dreams of football heroics, even in the middle of winter. Grab your Sharpie and ink up your calendar. BYU Athletic Director Tom Homo released the 2013 football schedule. And with the pieces to the puzzle now in place, the team and fans have a lot of marquee games to look forward to in the coming season.
I think when we started this adventure of independence a couple years ago, we stated that it's going to be a while till these schedules start to even out. And I think this 13 schedule is one that's got some real good, solid teams. It's got good balance. I think it's good for our program for where we are right now.
After years of beating up on weaker teams, we're seeing the fruits of Homo's labor. BYU starts the year on the East Coast at Virginia, then heads back home to play Texas before lacing up their cleats against in-state rival Utah.
With all the changes in conferences and such, it's a little bit more flexible if you haven't seen that.
The historically weak November schedule has been a target of criticism from Coug fans. But this November, BYU hits the road to take on powerhouse teams Wisconsin and Notre Dame before finishing the year in Reno, the hometown of Kyle Van Noy. The senior linebacker tweeted his enthusiasm for playing his last game as a Cougar in his old stomping grounds.
We need to come back home or play road games that are not too far from home, because just like playing in the NFL, when you go on the road back east, down south a couple weeks, it takes a lot out of you.
Of the Cougs' 12 scheduled games next year, 7 of them are against teams that went bowling last season, and that's not even including that team up north. A tough schedule for sure, but one that will give BYU a chance to prove their worth as an independent. AJ?
Super Bowl Sunday is just 4 days away if you didn't know, but that doesn't mean that all of the news has been super. A new Sports Illustrated article says Baltimore Ravens All-Pro linebacker Ray Lewis used a banned substance found in deer antler spray to help heal his torn triceps. Lewis has never tested positive for it, though, and adamantly denies ever using the product.
Every test I've ever took in the NFL, there's never been a question if I've ever even thought about using anything.
While the accusations are certainly an unwelcome distraction, Lewis will be in the starting lineup for his second Super Bowl this Sunday. And now back to the association. We pick up with the Lakers against the New Orleans Hornets last night, who were up into the fourth quarter. Grievous Vasquez brings it to a 1-point game on that floater in the lane. But Kobe and the Lake Show would have the last laugh. As you can see, Kobe's doing work, dishes it out to Earl Clark, who penetrates the lane only to kick it out to one of the best shooters in the land, Steve Nash, and splash from long distance. The Lakers would go on to win 111-106 and win their 3rd straight game at home. Now, the Lakers have been having some success at home, but now they head out for their annual Grammy trip, where they leave for 7 road games as the Grammy comes to the Staples Center.
So Grammys are more important than the Lakers then, I guess.
Yeah, in this case, Adele and Justin Timberlake went out over Kobe Bryant, I guess.
Cool.
Thanks, AJ.
Still to come at 11 News at noon, Pizza for Patriots. These boxes hold a special treat for our troops, what they can look forward to for Super Bowl. We'll be right back.
Soldiers serving overseas are going to get a little slice of home this Sunday. These aren't your run-of-the-mill packing boxes. They're filled with 21,000 Chicago-style ready-to-bake pizzas. Through a program called Pizzas for Patriots, troops in Afghanistan and Kuwait will get the pies just in time for the Super Bowl. Organizers say they will work with the military to make sure pizza is delivered fresh to both bases in each country. Well, you know, All-American Weekend.
Well, that's it for 11 News at noon for Wednesday, January 30th.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching and have a great afternoon.